All right. Narcissists have been using this tactic of divide and conquer for eons. Okay, this is nothing new under the sun. We see this in family units. We see them going into workplaces and infecting the place like a virus. We see this on the large scale societal issues, which is mostly what I'm going to be discussing today. What we're seeing is that division is a way of kind of softening up your opposition. So, as we know, there's strength in numbers. So if you can divide a specific target and get them all fighting against each other and discombobulated and confused, and it's easier to take them out, okay? When people have all this hatred and vitriol amongst each other, they cannot come together collectively and organize against who the real culprit is, who they actually should be fighting against. And that would be the evildoers, the powers that be, that seem to want to implement this tyrannical slave system without any. They really didn't look to the populace for any kind of agreement on this. They just kind of said, well, this is how it's going to be, and they plan on implementing this new world order. So, and they don't care who gets hurt or dies in the process of them achieving world domination. Israel has a goal of achieving world domination, and so that's why we're seeing that they've implemented all of these kind of double agent weasels into our media, into our government here in the US. And I imagine if they've done it here, they've also done it in other countries, because I believe they own the media in all these other countries as well. I don't know if, I really don't know the stats on, which countries have their own media, do any, I don't know like every detail. I'm just giving an observation based on what I'm seeing here in the US. I can't speak for every other country. I believe that they do own the media in quite a lot of countries. I don't know if there are some countries that kind of held out and, we know they want to take out Iran. Iran seems to be the last country on their list of countries to take out to sort of achieve world domination. I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly, but I saw a video, something to the degree that Iran has their own banks and essentially won't bow down to Israel, so that's why they want to kind of take them over. I don't know if there are other reasons, or, I don't know all the details, because also keep in mind, they just sell us a bunch of nonsense on the media and we don't get any of the facts. They don't tell us anything. So, they don't tell us what's really going on, so we basically can only do research on the internet and make educated guesses based on the information that we do have. So, basically what I'm trying to say is there is a group of people, the powers that be, that they implement these sort of double agents to specifically cause division in the country that they're placed in. And you see this even with Donald Trump, for example. I noticed, like, on Twitter, all he does is constantly complain about the left. It's not... Shouldn't you, if you're the leader of the free world, or at least the leader of the United States, be trying to bring people together? Like, shouldn't you say, okay, now I'm in office, let's unite the left and the right, black and white, he should be leading by example and bringing the country together. But instead, all he does is chirp and chirp and chirp and chirp and chirp nonstop about, oh, the demon rats, the democrats, the left did this, and Pelosi and Maxine Waters and this and that, and just constantly causing more division and spewing out more vitriol. So how is that uniting the country? Well, the answer is this: he doesn't care to unite the country because he's just put in place as a puppet and a distraction so that people keep fighting amongst each other. Meanwhile, the New World Order is making more and more steps forward while everyone is arguing amongst each other with stupid, frivolous stuff that makes no difference to anything whatsoever. And so this plan is working perfectly. This was a plan. It's being orchestrated right in front of our very eyes. This was a plan this was planned out years and years and years ago. So now we're just seeing it come to fruition. That's all it is. So then you have these commentators and media people like Ben Shapiro, who also, all they do is cause division, constantly talking about the left and the right paradigm. It's never bringing people together. That's not their job. Their job is to keep dividing, because a soften up divided demographic is much easier to take out. They know Americans can't get on the same page on anything, and that was all done by design. If you noticed, when the 2016 election was taking place with Trump, there was so much division. This was before I left Facebook, and it was so nasty on there. People were arguing, going off on each other. It was working like a charm. The whole thing worked like a charm. Divide and conquer. Take everyone's eyes off of who the actual problem is and get them all fighting amongst each other. Then they're softened up, so when we turn on them, they're not going to be able to stick together and get some kind of coalition or organizing, getting an army together of soldiers to fight back. No, they're all divided, and we taught them all to hate each other via social media and be envious of each other, and, oh, you got that new bag and you got that new shirt, I hate you. You're taking this trip, oh, I hate you. Worked like a charm. It worked like a charm. This was all a plan. And did you ever wonder, for example, like, I noticed they're always coming up with new labels. Like, it never ends with the labels, like cisgender and binary and sapiosexual. What the hell is all of this? I don't know what this is. Then I started realizing they probably keep coming up with new labels because they need new ways to divide us. They have to have different terms and ways to divide us. Maybe they figured out, they caught on to the black-white thing, that we were trying to pit them against each other. They're thus taking the focus off of us, who are the actual problem, and let's get them fighting amongst each other, even though no one ever had a problem with anyone until the media told us we did. It's like, hate the cops, hate black people, hate white people, hate white nationalists and leftists and Republicans, and oh yeah, you gotta hate them because of this, and you gotta hate this one. We were all just getting along just fine before you told us that we weren't getting along, and before you put all these made everyone pathologically envious of one another and jealous. So we were all just getting along mighty fine and dandy before these systems were put in place, and all this specific stuff was put in place, like these double agents, for example, to divide us. This was all done for a very specific reason, to soften us up, so whatever happens is going to happen, when the military turns on us. By the way, we don't have a military. We don't have a government. We don't have a military, and we don't have a president. So if you think someone's going to come out here and save you, you're sadly mistaken. No one is going to save you. We don't have a military. Just look at Mike Decker's channel on the chemtrailing, and you'll see that the U.S. Air Force is dumping poisonous chemicals on us. Does that make you feel secure and safe when your own military is poisoning you? So yeah, the military ain't gonna save you. So you better get with the program. So anyway, in terms of narcissists, they've been doing this divide and conquer thing forever. It's nothing new. It's a tactic they all use. They use this in the family unit if you grew up with a narcissist. By the way, for those who don't know what a narcissist is, it's basically a psychopath. I use the terms interchangeably. There are nuances and things like that, but it's a person who is completely devoid of a conscience and cannot love, has no empathy, has, not a shred of a conscience, and they're very dangerous individuals. Unfortunately, it seems that the governments are inundated with these types of individuals, which is a very scary thought. It's scary enough for those that have met them in person. We know how scary these people are, believe me. And if you haven't encountered one, I hope to God you never do, because they are very frightening individuals, and you will never forget it. Believe me, you will never forget encountering them. And they like that too. They like the fact that they leave a lasting imprint in your mind. But anyway, getting back to dividing and conquering, it's all about softening up the target and going in for the kill. So they have to divide everyone first. And that's why you see them, like the US, for example. They come into countries, they try to destabilize the whole country, and then they're going to turn on you. So they're currently destroying the food supply, farms, and things like that, because they know if we're all starving, then the food prices are going to skyrocket. Everyone's going to be turning on each other for food and things like that, and it's just going to be total chaos. And when it gets to the lowest point, they can just come in and turn on us at the drop of a dime, and we're all going to be so hungry or so discombobulated that we'll be willing to take some chip, some RFID chip, which seems to be the route they're going down. And they can implement their one world religion, one world order, tyrannical slave 5G grid, and control everyone, every ounce of information, they want to control every single aspect of everyone's life. And in order to do this, they first needed to divide the whole populace and get them fighting amongst each other and fighting over things that mean absolutely nothing. So, you gotta unbrainwash yourself. You gotta unlearn every single thing you learned. Unlearn it. Get off social media. Get rid of your cell phone. Do whatever the hell you need to do to untraumatize your brain, and stop fighting with people who voted for someone different than you. Who cares? That's not the problem. That was all done by design. I can get along with anyone. I don't care if they're on the left, on the right, if they're black, if they're white, if they're Chinese. I could care less. As long as you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. It doesn't matter what race, what religion, any of that. There's no need for division. Division is only a tool of the powers that be, and it's used for control, to control the populace, divide and then conquer. So, that's the idea. This is nothing new. They've been doing this forever. They do it on the small scale and they do it on the large scale. Don't fall into the trap. They're, keep, start building back bonds with people. That who cares if someone has a difference of opinion? You can't get along with someone because they're a different political party. That's like the equivalent of, let's say you're in kindergarten. Oh, you can't hang out with this other student because their favorite color is blue and yours is red. I mean, how stupid and childish and juvenile is that? Oh, I can't hang out with her because she likes that color and I like this color. I mean, do you realize how stupid this is? Like, this is like kindergarten level of stuff. I can get along with anyone. I don't care what their opinions are. That actually makes it even more interesting because then we can sit there and debate and find common ground amongst our differences, and you can learn something from someone who has a different thought process as you. Why is that a bad thing? So, don't fall for these psychopaths. They're always trying to divide, and psychopaths love chaos. They love death, they love destruction, they love misery because they have an inner angst and turmoil and misery going on within themselves. So therefore, they have to make everyone else miserable. Because empaths have a beautiful spirit, a glow, an aura, and so they want to dull your shine. So don't let it happen.